SAP, the German software company, essentially saying that there were breaches of compliance in how it handled contracts with Eskom and Transnet, two key SOEs in South Africa. In particular, dealing with about $50 million worth of contracts across about 5 or so separate deals. So let's get the latest details on this. Angela Gupta joins us now live from Johannesburg with more data. So, Angelo, this report commissioned by SAP, Baker McKenzie did the hard work here. This report says there were no direct payments to either government officials or employees of the SOEs. So what exactly is the nature of the misconduct in question here?
Well, it appears it had to do with the mismanagement related to those Gupta-linked third-party companies, and the irregularities were linked to the adherence of SAP's own compliance processes that weren't adhered to, obviously. The investigation says it's linked also to an $11 million amount that was paid out in commissions to the two Gupta-linked third-party companies. And we're led to believe that SAP South Africa concluded 2 contracts with Transnet and 4 with Eskom between 2014 and 2017. The companies involved were Global Software Solutions and CAD House. One of the contracts involved a commission of 10%, while the other 5 contracts involved a commission rate of around 14.9%. Now that's important because it's just below the 15% threshold, which would have triggered an SAP executive board review of those deals. Apparently there's also no evidence, according to SAP, that there was any direct contact with any of the Gupta or Zuma family members. Everything seems to have been channeled through one Santosh Chobev, who's a Gupta functionary. First, he was at GSS, and then he was at CAD House. So it seems like that's where the issues lie as far as SAP are concerned, Raman.
Indeed. So let's step back, though, because there are several investigations running concurrently into the affairs of the Gupta family and their allies, of course, by implication, President Zuma and his family. What is the latest on these multiple investigations in South Africa?
It's quite a long list, so let's go through it quite quickly then. You'll recall that the Hawks swooped on that empty Gupta compound several weeks ago. That's related to that $20 million Freedom Farm fraud. Then just yesterday, the NPA, the National Prosecuting Authority head Sean Abrams, stumbled his way through a Justice and Police Portfolio Committee appearance. That was related to those non-arrests that happened with the Gupta brothers. Then there's the other parliamentary inquiry into state capture at Eskom. There, the ex-chair yesterday, Ben Ngubane, was also defending his poor governance record in terms of ex-CEO Brian Molefe and his huge pension payout. There's also the issue around the Gupta control to get minerals that took over several mining-related businesses in the coal sector and also, basically in the coal sector. That's under investigation at the moment. The big gorilla in the room, of course, is the announcement yesterday of a team to undertake that all-encompassing judicial inquiry into state capture. And front and center there will be the Gupta family and certain of the Zuma family members. We don't have a start date for that inquiry just yet, but it's going to certainly capture the imagination of the country for as long as it lasts. Raman?
Indeed. One last question for you, Angelo. I understand the Guptas are supposed to be publicly grilled on this matter by a parliamentary committee, and according to their lawyers, they say they will appear before it next week, Tuesday. But one of the individuals here, I believe it's Atul Gupta, signed a couple of court documents when he was in Dubai. Given that, are these individuals likely to show up in court, or rather before this parliamentary committee, not before court, next week?
Well, in fact, we haven't seen the Gupta brothers, any one of the 3 of them, in public recently or on television either, not even on their own television channel. It's as if they've disappeared into thin air, very much like the plane that they bought with a loan from that Export Development Canada operation. Incidentally, that matter will be heard in court tomorrow. It's unlikely where the plane is at the moment because the transport ponders have reportedly been switched off. It was last spotted in Russia. That's just several weeks before Mr. Zuma resigned as president. Back to the brothers and the brothers Gupta, though, they have been asked to present themselves. Many doubt that they will. It's as if you're not likely to see one of the brothers who's a fugitive from justice, or South African justice, likely to put a foot back in the country because he's probably going to get arrested. So it's expected that the lawyer will ask for a postponement and look for more details about the questions that his client is going to be asked. As it is, he could be subpoenaed, but based on most recent history, it's unlikely that we'll see any of the Guptas in South Africa anytime soon. So I'm not holding my breath, unless, of course, an international crime-fighting organization like Interpol gets involved. Raman?
Indeed. We'll see how this plays out. Should be an interesting story. Thank you for that. That's Angela Gupta there live, of course, in Johannesburg.